Hi everyone and welcome. I'm going to talk today a little bit about reality therapy, which was developed by the psychiatrist Dr. William Glasser. Reality theory is built upon the foundations of choice theory, and together they offer a really practical way to understand why we do what we do, and how we can make choices that help us live more satisfying lives. So let's start with choice theory. Glasser believed that everything we do is an attempt to meet one or more of our 5 basic human needs: love and belonging, power or achievement, freedom, fun, and survival. When you think about it, everything we do, from our relationships to work, even our hobbies, connects back to one of those needs. So the key idea in choice theory is that we can't control other people. We can only control our own thoughts, actions, and how we respond to what happens around us. So instead of looking backwards and focusing or blaming the past, choice therapy encourages us to ask, what can I do right now to get my needs met in a healthier way? So that's when reality therapy comes in. It's basically kind of the hands-on version of choice theory, and how those are used in counseling. So in reality therapy, we focus on what a person can actually control, rather than getting stuck in what's wrong or who's at fault. The therapist helps a client explore their current choices and whether those choices are working for them. If they're not, the therapist and client collaborate to find new actions and attitudes that are more effective. It's all about empowerment and responsibility, helping people take charge of their lives in ways that can improve their relationships and just their overall well-being. So one way therapists often structure reality therapy is through something called the WDEP system. It stands for W, what do you want? D, what are you doing to get it? And E, evaluate, is what you're doing working? And P, what is your plan for change? This framework keeps sessions focused and practical. The client and therapist look at what's happening right now, evaluate if those behaviors are helping, and create a realistic plan that the client can actually follow through on. It's not about perfection, it's about progress and accountability. So the therapist's role in reality therapy is pretty central. This is one of the things that Dr. William Glasser really emphasized, was the patient and therapist's connection. They work collaboratively, they show respect to each other, and care. But the therapist also needs to make sure that they're helping the client take ownership of their choices. This relationship is central. It's built on trust and genuine connection. The therapist doesn't shame or blame, instead that they model what responsibility and authenticity look like. That sense of safety and partnership helps clients feel empowered to make changes that really matter to them. So now we will be demonstrating an example of what reality therapy might look like.
Hi Graham, thanks for coming in today. I know last time we chatted, you were telling me about feeling kind of stuck and unmotivated at work. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about what's been going on?
Yeah, I'm not enjoying my work anymore. It doesn't feel like it, because I show up to work and I get the bare minimum done, and then when I get home at the end of the day, I feel exhausted and drained, even though I didn't really exert myself.
That has to be frustrating. It sounds like some of your needs aren't getting met. I guess we can start with what you want. So if things were perfect at work, what would that look like for you?
For me, I want to feel excited about going into work, like I'm doing something I enjoy, and I want to feel appreciated for the work that I'm doing, as well as feeling like I'm doing something that,
you're not feeling that sense of belonging and achievement at work, and those are actually 2 of our basic needs. And do you think you're doing anything right now that's helping you achieve those?
No, there's nothing in particular. I'm just trying to show up to work and get the bare minimum done, and then leave as soon as I can.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. That's super important. Do you think what you're doing right now is getting you closer to that sense of achievement and connection at work?
No. I feel like every day after I get home, I feel worse than the day before, and it's just
That awareness is a really important first step. But I want to talk about what is in your control. So, what do you think is a small step that you could do this week at work that might bring you closer to that feeling of engagement and belonging?
something I've been thinking about doing is talking to my boss about trying to work on a new project instead of showing up every day and completing the same tasks. But I haven't been sure if that's the right step or a helpful step to take.
Well, I think that sounds like a really great first step. It's specific, it's realistic, and it's 100% in your control. How confident do you feel in doing this next step?
I'm feeling pretty confident about it. It makes me excited to think about taking the next step and doing something other than what I've been doing in the past. As I said, it's been something I've thought about for a while, and having a part of a plan to make me feel more involved.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So the plan this week is to reach out and ask for help on that project. And then next week you can come in and we'll check in about how that went and what you learned from it.